you just said it. He's just
Exactly.
a weirdo.
Basically.
I think I left my other notebook. I swapped notebooks on accident, and I'm feeling a little lost.
You're
No
lost.
notes?
I hit for us to go on the internet, and I don't even have the camera stream running.
Oh, congratulations.
Yeah, thank you.
We're so together today.
It's okay. I don't have my notes. This is
Go grab them.
They're I swapped the notebooks. So
Okay.
the HD notebook is sitting in front of me, and the cause notebook is sitting in the HD room at the church.
Oh. Yeah, don't go get that. You're not gonna get that. I thought it was just in a different room in your house.
Don't ask me how I did it.
Skill sets, I believe, is the answer.
Don't. I had a whole. I don't know how I did it. I think I just threw both the notebooks from my desk into my bag and
It's being cleansed.
was not paying attention.
Why was it
It's me.
sending you all to that page? That's odd.
I'm glad you get a great kick out of that misery.
I do.
Strange. Okay, well, I see the background for the internet, so let's see. And the internet has sound. Good enough for me.
Woohoo.
Woo-hoo indeedly dee. Who wants to give the recap of what happened last time on Curse of Strahd?
Well, there was a lot of talking,
Uh-huh.
and it was followed by more talking, and then we talked some more, and then we finished up the session by talking.
Pretty much. My notes are
I got a head
conversation,
shake, so
conversation.
I disappointed. Yeah.
My final note, though, is Ro finally explains shit, so, you know.
Right?
That was important.
Oh God. Let's see if I can remember.
You got this, Alvin.
You can do it.
Well, Trix and Godfrey finished up their conversation, which basically culminated in Trix walking out as she was put in charge of all of the new tools that have been introduced into the work system of Argynvost. To varying degrees of success with explaining the oath and what we're actually doing here. Had a little help from Valgwyn. Not terribly surprised when you've got Barbarian Brain. You know, one too many thwacks to the head, and it happens. Happens to the best of everyone. Oh, let's see what else happened. There was a little confusion about where Rofund happened to be unconscious, and consequently also where his armor went to. Whether it fell off along the way or it grew legs and walked away, we don't know. Good times. Then we had a little meeting about what the plan is got some information that was useful, like where in the world is Jinx? What was she doing? By the way, there's a underground city at the bottom of a lake that might or might not be underneath Castle Ravenloft. Which, by the way, speaking of Castle Ravenloft, the mists have been pulling back from the borders of Barovia and have surrounded the castle like a frickin' destructive turtle shell of death. So the only way in or out is through the front gate. And while Esmeralda said, hey, we could get a small strike team in through the gate, there's no way we're fitting an army through. As far as we can tell, it's the only way in or out, so them's the breaks. Let's see. We talked about character names. Viviana's little task from Lathander to go back to Berez. And that some people didn't want to drink the gray silver Kool-Aid yet, because they're like, well, my world's just been rocked by revelations that everything was not what it seemed, and I'm not signing up until I know what this is. Too bad, because the gray silver Kool-Aid tastes like almonds. Because might or might not be poison. Who knows?
DM's taking notes. Good job, Val.
He takes notes all the time. I just talk, and he's like,
This is where the ideas come from sometimes, people.
oh gosh. I think that was all the major plot beats. The Rothun talked about how he might have some sort of very powerful deity-like ancestor who might or might not be heading this way to fuck shit up for everyone. Yeah, I think that was all the major beats there. Anything else kind of just has gone away for now.
Godfrey did tell Siobhan they needed to
Wake
wake
up.
up.
Oh yeah, that's where we ended.
Yeah, because we brought up the fact that Rothan wasn't the champion anymore, and the blood was left in the cauldron for the hag took.
Yeah, I'm sure that won't come back at any point in time.
Oh, not
Devin's
at
the
all.
champion. We got it. It's fine.
Does anybody want to add anything else to that? That glorious recap.
I wouldn't call it glorious.
It was better than we spoke the end.
Look, I had to temper expectations.
Yeah. I have a note on here
Anything
that
I
says-
gave past that was better.
Yeah. And my note on here is Archie got the tattoo just to be able to talk to Trix anywhere, anytime.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah, she
Yeah,
did.
she did. They did do that. Yeah,
That's
yeah.
what happens when I don't have
Uh-huh.
my notes. I forgot about that.
Absolute facts.
Oh darn, they fixed their Discord. Yeah, that's 1000% legit. Let's see, couple other things that might be important to remember that may or may not have been said. I'm fairly sure that they were said. In addition to you guys, spilling the beans 100% that you left the blood behind in the cauldron after a hag bathed in it. Well, that when Rothun went past the barrier, he saw an army of, undead killers fighting against an army of undead, but in no means not looking towards Barovia for a sign of weakness in the mists to come through and extract vengeance. That the only way to stay their hand would be for Lulu to still be alive. some extra stuff was shared, like some more information about the dragoons was shared, that they probably not 100% on Argynvost's side. Like, it's a pact of convenience. Once Big Bad is done, we're still going scorched earth on every undead in this land. No fucks given. So yeah, you guys dropped, on the fact that there's multiple armies out to kill these people. Every single one of them. That was fun. To which even Godfrey kind of lost his composure for a moment. Let's see, is anything else important that was said?
I don't know. I didn't cover that
I don't
because
think
I checked
so.
my mental minutes, and I talked about that last recap. Well, not
yeah,
the
but that was
Godfrey
part of
actually.
what Rothan shared this time, though.
Mm-hmm.
That's fair
I
enough.
said it again.
Yeah. Yeah, I can't think of anything else. Cool. So, where we pick up is Godfrey telling Siobhan it's time to wake up. You guys are on the 3rd floor of Castle Argynvost, or Argynvost Holt, technically the name. In the war room, where that animated map, you guys have added different pieces to, and has had an update, was recently updated to show the circling the death tortoise shell of mists around Castle Ravenloft. It was pointed where on that map where Jinx went, and where that's at is kind of fairly close to Castle Ravenloft, which Valgwyn did say in the recap may or may not be what happened to old Jinxie Poo. Maybe there's a way up and down between the two. Who knows? Maybe she's dead or just can't talk, which for Jinx is kind of the same thing. But as you're in there, again, for at least one of you, in comparison to a month ago in Barovia time, the renovations of the place, Godfrey with his silver burning eyes looking at Siobhan. And he leans real close to you, Siobhan. Gets like right the side of his cheek against the side of your cheek, where his mouth is right next to your ear. And it's strange because he doesn't breathe, so there's no air movement. There's nothing there. But he whispers something into your ear. I need you to give me a wisdom saving throw. Okay. What he says you're not able to understand, but it resonates deep within you, within almost like your very bones, and you can feel a strange, kind of like a prickly sensation. Like you've sat on your foot for too long and you moved it, and it has that prickly stinging sensation. You're like, it's like trying to wake up, and as the nerve endings are trying to repass all the signals that it couldn't pass through. And it's It's all over your body in some kind of pattern. Like if you were able to visualize it, it's probably some kind of rune or something like inscribed into your body somewhere. And then he pulls back, and those burning silver eyes, he goes, "That apparently wasn't enough to wake you. I'll have to prepare the chamber."
Sounds kinky.
So what are your plans now? As he leans back, standing. No plans then. Great. Don't anybody talk at once.
Told them we gotta go on to Perez, grab the blood, see if it's still there, and then go to Tesser Falls.
Trix, you get a platinum star for the evening.
Thanks.
You're welcome. I know that we just had this conversation mere seconds ago, but sometimes it seems like it's multiple 10 days between our conversations. So I like to verify these things to make sure we're all on the same page of the book.
I don't think I got the book.
I'm not on a separate page, right? 'Cause sometimes
You were
I-
definitely not on a separate page, Jinx. That's
Okay.
why you got the platinum star. And Arcadia, can you read?
Obviously not.
I mean, it's not a common trait for most Barovians to be able to do. So, picture books. Got it.
With explicit material.
What?
I don't understand why that was so funny. Why are the rest of you laughing so much?
I'm sorry, I don't know why that was so funny.
It's just explicit material. Clearly, Arcadia wants to learn how better to cut people's heads off.
Oh yeah, that'll work too.
That's exactly what I was thinking about.
I figured they had some sort of like tome thing with the skeletons and the positions, you know.
The mantra of battle arts, I understand.
I guess the next question would be, when do we leave? I still have to go get my extras situated.
The tools.
Is that what we're calling them? Yes.
I mean, we are all tools of one or the other. Even I am a tool.
I did say.
I believe Rothund has red armor to find. Something about it potentially walking around, though I'm not sure how armor inside the barrier that's not blasted by the silver would be walking around, but whatever. It's his vampiric armor that he keeps bringing into the Argynvost Holt, as though it doesn't communicate back to Strahd. I'm sure that's not a problem. But it is dark, so perhaps leave on the morrow. Or not.
Oh,
Go now.
we're gonna sleep and go get Vivi and go to Perez, right? That's the plan.
I believe that is what Platinum Star Trix said.
Cool.
Oh, great. You're dismissed.
Say is class dismissed. I'm just gonna leave. Go find somewhere to, you know, not be here.
I go find the villagers, see how far everybody's gotten tattooed. I know we left them outside the barrier. They were in the process of being tattooed.
Okay. Siobhan, what are you going to do?
I was writing, sorry.
You're taking notes? Okay.
Yes.
I'm gonna go outside and find Vivian.
I mean, you and Trix are headed the same direction then.
Shocking.
I'm gonna catch up to Trix. So, how are you? I'm part of the club now.
I just look at you strangely. I'm okay.
Lots of responsibility. You up for it?
Up for what?
The responsibility of taking care of all the people.
Well, we're leaving tomorrow. I just gotta get them situated.
You still have a lot of people to get situated.
It shouldn't be too hard. That one lady seemed like she was really like in charge of everything.
Yeah. When sometimes she's not over there, so don't trust everything that she says. Anyway, see you later. And I'm just gonna rush off and go find Vivian.
Getting on the
Bye.
steps of my little thing.
Your, Arcadia, your version of rush off is still not faster than Trix normal walking.
Cling, 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 cling.
Oh, you make so much noise.
Trix normal walking quickly puts you in her dust. You will have to run if you want to rush off. Viviana, outside past the barrier, after setting up your super cool Temple of the Gods nonsense terrible spell. What are you doing?
Kind of just sitting on the step there, just watching things and making sure that everybody from Kresk is safe as they're getting themselves tattooed up and all that jazz. And just kind of thinking through things and processing all the fun stuff that's happened in, the last 20 hours.
You will notice that the crazy hunchbacked guy with wild hair and one eye bigger than the other is just gleefully causing pain upon children as he tattoos them.
Noted. This place has crazy people. I already knew that.
Give me an active perception check, Viviana. Roll a 4, get a 19. Fuck off.
You love me.
Even with you like standing back and around, or sitting a little, further back from the congregation there, you can tell that the crazy tattoo guy is going quickly with the kids versus the adults where he really sits there probably longer than he needs to.
Noted.
And give me an insight roll.
There we go.
So you're not sure if he's gleefully laughing at the pain he's causing the children or the fact that he's just tattooing somebody. It could be either at this point.
Or both.
Fact. It could be both. Who knows?
Again, I already knew there were crazy people here.
Yep. Valgrim, what are you doing?
I will tell Godfrey, if he needs me, I'll be in the forge, and then I'll turn to Rothund, and I'll look him dead in the eye, and I'll be like, you're coming with me, because we need to get your dumbass some more armor.
And how does Rothund respond?
Oh, I have to do...
No.
Yeah, I guess.
Good enough. I approve. Siobhan, have you figured out what you're doing? All right, well, you got kicked out of the war room and door shut, so... you're just kind of standing in the hallway like a lost dead girl. Which is weird because this is your home. So why are you lost? But hey, whatever. Okay, well. Trix and Arcadia going past the barrier. You can see that... about like maybe a fourth or so of the people are done. The tattoo guy, he's only doing stage 1 of the tattoos. Doesn't take quite as long to do the outline, and some of them did not get the giant pieces that some of you have gotten. But you hear the cries of not only kids but adults after being tattooed. Some of them were like, "That was an interesting experience." Most of them though are in tears. But I mean, again, quarter of them are done. Still a lot more to go. It takes a while, even just to do outlines of a tattoo on a person. And again, that crazy guy, he's just pumping his little machine, his little tiny crossbow thing. He's just hold still.
That within itself is probably terrifying.
As he's tattooing kids.
They won't be afraid of anything when they grow up.
Hey, listen, they survived this, they could survive anything. So, Arcadia, what are you doing?
Going over to sit by Viviana and, nudge her in the shoulder. So, what is it? When's your turn? When are you gonna get in line?
I'm not sure. I'm confused.
About what? You go stand in line, the dude puts the tattoo on your arm, you're part of the club.
Well, I talked to Godfrey, and, I wanted to see what the Morning Lord has to say in Berez first.
Before you get tattooed.
Yes.
So after we go there, you're gonna get tattooed.
Sure.
Right? That's like a thing you're gonna do after we go there?
As long as the Morning Lord doesn't have a different plan.
I would think you'd want to keep you alive, so that the plan would be to join the group that's gonna keep you, well, mostly alive. Let's just stay alive for now. And
I'm
go
not
with
sure.
that.
Have you seen most of these people? I'm not
Like
sure
I said,
that's the right
alive
word.
for now.
Uh-huh. Yeah, that's part of my mental problems here, I think.
You think you're gonna die and become undead?
I don't know, I don't know, Arcadia. I'm confused and wish my dad was here to talk to, but he's not, because he's already dead. But not like these people dead, like dead. maybe.
Are you worried about becoming undead and not being able to be dead?
Potentially?
Would you like me to take care of that if this is, like, a potential thing?
Please don't kill me right now.
I kill you right now. I'm just saying that if you're about to, if you're dying, I will certainly cut your head off and burn your body.
Well, thank you so much. That is very kind of you.
You're welcome. Only for my friends.
Oh, love you, Archie.
I know. So we're just gonna sit here and, like, stare at all the people now?
Well, I was waiting for one of you to come let me know what the plan's gonna be. Otherwise, some morning I'm
going. We're sleeping and we're going to do your thing.
Perez. Okay, that works. That was what I was gonna do.
So you can ask Light Daddy if it's okay, and then we could just get on this train.
Okay. Deal.
Okay. I'm just gonna sit there.
Okay. T-Rex, what are you doing with the group that is done? Or are you going to wait till they're all done and just kind of handle them at the same time?
I'm gonna wait till they're all done, and at the same time.
Okay.
Works.
Then we're going to get back to you, because that's going to take some time. Team Forge Bros. As you exit out of the castle, making your way to the left to that side where the forge is. As you go out, you hear the banging of metal against metal. As you turn that corner, you can feel, even with your resistance to it, you can still feel the heat of the forge from here. You can see that, the blessing is still there. The grass in that zone still pristine and perfect. And then beyond that, burnt foliage. Nothing survives past that area due to the heat. But it's something that is just beyond that building that you made that really kind of catches your eye. Because it stands above your building. The pieces of the stone golem seem to be together and standing. As you can see, the top head from the nose up beyond the roof line of the building that you had constructed.
Coolio. We'll get to that in a second, though, because I came here for another reason first. Is like Rofun like sweating his ass off uncomfortably, like can't get any closer, or is it a manageable temperature?
You know that they aren't burning mimicry wood.
Okay, fair enough.
Because you don't hear the jet engine roar of fire coming out of the chimney area. So it's it might be hot for him, but he's not going to die.
Fair enough. Well, I will tell him, come on, let's see what they're making. And I'm not going to obviously pull him, but I will expect him to follow me.
He also does have resistance to fire.
Well, there you go.
So he is perfectly fine.
Cool. Well, we'll head into the forge area. And what's going on in here?
Okay, so as you are walking up to the building itself, and off to the left against the castle is where you had the different forms of metal that at one point had melted together to solid individual pieces. That has been cleaned up. There are now individual bars have been made from the different metals that you had there. Like, somebody has come through, taken the massive sections of goo at that point, re-smelted them and shaped them into bars and stacked them up. So there are usable and already have been cleaned of impurity bars. Like you can tell just by looking at them. Like they are pure, every single one of them. Even, strangely enough, a small pile of a metal you are very much familiar with. They've made your steel into bars.
Oh, the springing steel.
There are bars of that there. Um, there as you're coming up, kind of well, as you look inside the building, there are 6 dwarves in there of different levels of decomposition. And they don't speak, but they very much move together in sync. Give me an active perception check. Okay. You can see as you're looking around in a the right hand corner closest to you, but on the opposite wall. Excuse me. So you come in and there's a corner there on that right side opposite of the entryway in that corner. You can see that there is remnants of armor there. And based on the sculpting of it, the design of what's left, it looks like it was Rothun's armor. Because he had his armor, while was the dark red, had faces of people in different forms of screaming and torture all over it. You can see that in this armor, but it's not all there, and it's not red anymore. And as you're kind of looking at that and looking around, you can see that 4 dwarves are actively hammering at something, while one is controlling the flame inside of the oven itself, and the other one is staring at something inside of it. And then you just kind of watch, wait, and look for a moment as that one who's kind of staring inside just reaches in barehanded and pulls something out, while that one who's paying more attention to the fire really pushes down hard on the bellows. And you can see as the flame roars up, they're pulling out this bar, and it shines in a bluish light as they pull it out. And then they just hand it off to the group that is hammering on something. And they set what they're hammering off to the side as that blue piece is there, and they start beating that. As the one who sets it down goes over, picks up what's left of what looks like Rothun's armor, and tosses it into the oven.
So with what I know and the time I've spent in the forge thus far, would I know what the glowing bluish metal is?
You can give me a nature roll with advantage. No, you clearly have no idea. Yeah,
must have been a DC 30.
That is a bar of pure adamantine. That has no imperfections in it. You can tell by the brightness of the blue.
Well, I guess I'll turn to Rothun and be like, well, at least we found what was left of the other armor then. It's, well, in the fun of snow. I'm not good at talking to myself, so we're just gonna move.
But I need that. To tell him I need that.
Well, I guess in Dwarven, I'll ask, what are you boys planning on making with that?
As soon as you speak Dwarvish, they all stop and look at you. And they put down their tools and they walk closer to you. Like for the first time actively paying attention to something other than metal that was inside here. Like before, they just walked right past you, paying no attention as they grab the stuff and as they're hammering and working them, like you didn't exist. You just look like they're coming close, and then like they reach one of them reaches their hand out. Do you do anything?
No.
He that individual grabs your wrist and begins to lift it up. And you see their eyes get really big. And then like walk around you, and they're all like poking you, and they're just looking at each other, eyes really big. And then they start talking, and if it wasn't for a certain blessing that you had, you would not be able to understand their version of Dwarvish. That is how old it is. How much the
Dwarvish,
language
yeah.
has changed. While they could seemingly understand some of what you said, because it's variation thereof, you trying to understand them would have been impossible. They are like a gaggle of hens with something new to gossip about, talking about how there is a living dwarf in this cursed, hellish land. And now they start asking you, what's your name? Where are you from? What mountain are you from? What are you named after? What's your clan name? What are you doing here? Why is your beard only this length when it should be longer? Why are you so tall when it should be shorter? What is this armor that you are wearing? Because it is beautiful, but I can see imperfections in it. Take it off and let me fix it. And they just so much is being said at once. It is overwhelming. They start to undo buckles of your armor. You just letting them go?
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I feel like this is more social interaction than Valorant's had in a long time. Fucking, it's like, whoa, hold on. Like, I'm trying to catch up on questions. I'm still confused they were going so fast.
In a matter of seconds, you have no armor on. They have taken it all off with a skill that leaves you in awe, because you know how long heavy armor should take to remove. They went with a dexterity. It just what? And they are like actively like looking, like they're passing it along each back and forth to each other, talking about it, pointing out the inscriptions here and the different artwork here. And then one of them like hits it and listens to it, and they start talking about how it's the same metal but a little bit more enhanced from that smaller pile outside, so they're recognizing what it was made out of. Like they are just you're the talk of the book club.
Well, as I'm catching up with answering questions, I'll start to get to the was originally a brewer, made alcohol, worked in the temple as a knowledge domain cleric. Now I'm forge domain. I did the best of what I had here in Barovia. The typical, hey, I did my best with the materials I had on hand type of conversation.
They begin to yeah. So some of them answer to your brewing aspect of can you make them dwarven mead because they're thirsty and haven't drank anything in who knows how long. And others are telling you how your springing steel can be made better.
I'll tell the ones who asked about the mead, I'll be like, can you all even taste that stuff in your condition? And secondly, I'm more interested in the better steel at this point. We are fighting a war here. Or about to be.
To your question about can they even taste anything that they're drinking, they answer they don't know. They want to try. They're dwarves. If we're not fucking drinking or forging, what's the point of breathing?
Looks like something Tegan would say. We're not throwing fireballs or drinking. What's the point?
Yeah, Tegan should have been a dwarf. Instead of a useless human. As far as your comment about how the springing steel can be enhanced, they start talking in such technical jargon, you make an intelligence ability check. Let's see if you can keep up. They lose you as they start talking actual chemical formulae for making your springing steel better. Like down to grams of this, and they don't say what the normal name is. They say it in the elemental name. Like they're super scientifically detailed with it.
Aye, that sounds great and all, but you have to understand, lads. This was more of a I'm feeling it out, just going with what dwarves do. You've totally lost me here.
They start talking amongst themselves, and as they're still looking at the different pieces that you made, and they are commenting and complimenting how well the pieces actually fit together, how the inscriptions that you put on there flow from piece to piece. Even separated, they can see where it begins and ends and how it comes together. They are impressed with that a child like you could make something this good, that there is hope for you in the future.
Aye, that's great and all, but depending on what happens here in this cursed place, who knows how long that'll be.
They start like talking really fast amongst themselves, like to the point you're really only catching like every other word, like not really. You understand, but they're going so fast you're like, what did you say? Like you can't process as quick as they are going. And poor Rothan is just like, what? But my Valgun, my armor's still in the with the fire and the. You understand that I'm wearing nothing but pants. I'm not very useful without armor. Valgwyn, are you gonna use your magic-y stuff to magic me some armor or something? What are we doing here?
Does Rothan even understand Dwarven?
I believe maybe he does not. Has no idea what you guys are talking about.
He hasn't understood a single word that's being said.
No. And he wouldn't understand what they're saying at all anyway.
Yeah. Well, I guess I'll turn and look at him, and I'll be like, "Not now, Rothan. They're talking about something important. Give it just a minute, and I'll ask him about your bloody armor." I'll say that in common.
Okay. After about 6 minutes of the dwarven hens gaggling over your armor together, and it's not just your armor, they've taken your shield and your mace. Like, they're really like seeing how it all comes together. Like, they're
Warhammer, sure.
Thank you, Warhammer. Your little rock hammer there. Like, they're paying attention, like they're seeing how it all comes together, how it flows, and how energy from them feeds other aspects of them. Like, they're seeing it not as individual pieces, but as one whole piece. And as they are talking about this, as they're saying this, as they're coming up together, they all kind of stop and excuse me. Boy. They all start talking, and it's a word that you don't understand, but the way that they keep saying it, it sounds like a name. And they start leaving the forge with your stuff, and one of them just like kind of grabs you by the beard, like not paying any attention where they're grabbing you, to pull you along.
Oh, watch the beard!
When you say that, they let go. And then they just do one of these and they're shorter than you. They're not as tall as you are. These are old dwarves, like the stories where they just were spat out of mountains like this. They're shorter than you. They're stockier than you. They leave the forge area.
The dwarves just pop out of the ground.
Exactly. They leave the forge area, turn to the right, and head towards if you were looking at the front of the castle gate again, to the back of the forge. So from the door to the right.
The stone thing is standing?
Yes, they're heading that direction. As they get there, they say that word again. But when they do, one of the dwarves that is back there, and back here, you can see there's about anywhere from like 12 to 20 more back here. Quick count. All of them working on the stone thing, the stone suit. As the pieces have been put together, the cracks are gone. The chest piece itself seems to have been lifted up and around the ribcage area opened, as though it opens this way and then two pieces open this way. And you can see inside this stone-looking seat thing, and there's a dwarf inside there. And when they say this word, that dwarf turns around and looks. And the word that they say is Hepburn. 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 And as they say that name, they start talking real fast again. And bits that you get is armor and another in their as they're showing up your stuff, and alive and suit. Like those are the words that you kind of get. And Hepburn comes out of the cockpit like area, climbs down this ladder. Hepburn is a little bit taller than the rest, so he's 3'6". The rest of them are just about 3 foot. They're not tall. Like, you're a giant in comparison. His beard, if it wasn't braided in such a way, like you could tell, would probably go down to, like, he'd be walking on it. Bald on top. Darker, earthy colored skin. Half of this cheek is gone. One eye is completely missing. A bit of skull shows here. As he kind of walks with a limp, comes over and is just like looking at the armor and then looking at you, and then he says, he talks really slow. And he says in Old Dwarvish, which again, you're able to understand because you're blessing. Do you have the cube?
I was sitting once another person helped figure it out, but then I opened it, and it should have been sitting over by the door of the forge. What was inside of it came out.
What was inside?
Well, it seemed to be a codex of sorts, with a record that I could only partially understand. It showed the creation here fighting against gods and demons, but there was some issue with it, and it seemingly failed. Also, and I'll pull out I keep calling it my needle, but I know it's that metal rod. This was inside. It seems to point in a direction. As you move around, it seems to always point in the same way.
He reaches his right hand out, which only has 3 fingers on it. The thumb, the index, and the middle finger. He reaches his hand out. May I? You hand the rod over to him?
Yep.
He speaks in the Old Dwarvish, and loosely translated, he is, I don't want to say that, it's not exactly like this, but it's the best way I can think of describe it. He's basically talking to this thing as though it'll understand him, telling it to locate the nearest god killer still active. And then he lets it go, and it spins in a different direction from where it was pointing. And then he hands it back to you, and he points to the stone one. He goes, version 1. Broken. Find more.
So this thing here points to more of these things then? Or it can?
Working. Maybe version 2. Version 3 better.
I still in Dwarvish, so that Rofun doesn't understand this. I think I might know what 2 more of these could possibly be at.
As you say that, the clatter of all the other dwarves stop. And they are all looking at you. And that one Hepburn kind of just raises his hand up to just kind of dismiss whatever's happening. And he just goes, God killed her strong. Find it. Bring it. Fix it. Kill God. Again, those are the words you understand. Obviously, he explains out in bigger sentences, but translation.
We'll get right on that then as soon as we can. I'll turn back to the group of 6, who I assume are still standing there. And I'll ask, I believe you had recovered my companion's armor earlier and threw it into the smelter. Do you think perhaps you can make him another set of armor for him?
As you say that, like, their eyes go big, like they totally forgot completely all about the work they were doing in the forge once they saw your armor and started talking to you. They look around and they start putting they lift up your leg and start putting the boot back on, and they put the pants, like they're just very quickly putting the armor back on you. Like, it's uncomfortable, it pinches. They obviously don't care how you feel about it. They were definitely more cautious with removing it, but they give no fucks about your personal person or any pain you might be in as they forcefully put it back on you.
What else is new?
And then they, with their short little legs, go back into the forge. And you hear pinging very soon. And then Hepburn goes, what call that?
What did he point to?
You. Looks like he pointed to you.
Well, my name's Valgwin. Unless you're talking about the armor.
He walks over and just knocks on it. What called?
Well, this is Argenvost's silvered scale.
Metal silver scale.
Well, I guess at that point it'd just be the silver scale, as the metal would be redundant.
What metal name?
Oh, springing steel. Although this is an alloy that was made from silver dragon scales.
Bring God Killer. I make better. As he hits your armor again.
Aye, okay, now we're in business, I think. I scratch your back, you scratch mine. Just like all the dwarves used to do back in the caves.
You have ale?
Well, I can see what is in the kitchen. If not, perhaps we can dig up enough stuff to make a barrel. Or two.
As you say that you look what's in the kitchen, he like grabs you by the beard and pulls your face down. Real ale. not raven piss. And he lets go of your beard.
That was entertaining. I so well. Rofund, you should probably go check what those people in the forge are making. Apparently, I need to go make a batch of booze.
Valgren, I don't understand what they're saying.
Well, come on then, right quick. I'll take him back in there, and I'll... Rofund, what type of armor do you want? Like, the fit?
I want the armor that I had.
Well, the armor you had is basically fucked off into the forge, so that ain't happening. What type of armor do you want, lad? Like, what type of fit? You want
light,
the full fit?
but not
super hat?
heavy?
No,
Something about medium-ish?
Something medium-ish that like kind of like covers the top half, but maybe leaves your legs exposed, like a half plate type of deal.
That could work.
It could work, and that's what you want.
I mean, I want what I had. That armor was great.
Yet again, I'll grab him. I'll hop up. I'll grab his collar of his shirt and bring him down to my level. I'll be like, "You're not getting the point. Listen here. Do you want half-plate armor?"
Yes.
Great! Boys, I'll say in Dwarven. Lads, whatever. The armor's for this big idiot. You'd like a set of half-plate. If you could fit him for it, that'd be fantastic.
So there's still the one working the bellows. There's still the four that are now hammering out the piece of adamantane that you can tell has been refired because it cooled off. While the other one has his hand in, is like literally manipulating melted metal inside there with their hands. It doesn't seem to be sticking to them in any way, shape, or form. Give me a perception check. You can see that on... Well, not the one with the sands of the forge, not the one about making the bellows. So one of them that is actively hammering the metal on the anvil. You can see the symbol of Moradin just kind of right here upon their chest. As though your blessing is still actively doing something. And maybe that's why they can just stick their hand in the fucking oven without any problems. But that one comes over and... So you want the tall one measured for armor? Because he's... Why is he so tall? It's a lot of metal. We really got to make something for him. Kind of
I
waste.
Unfortunately got to keep him alive somehow, I guess.
What are we making? Full plate? Maximum
Half plate,
effort?
please. Half plate.
What
That's
kind
what he
of
wants.
medium armor sissy pansy bullshit is this?
The kind that tends to take a medium armor master feat.
Why don't we just cut that feet right off? We'll make him prosthetic.
I don't know. We'd have to talk to his god about changing that then. It got really meta really quick.
It really did. He just starts poking and prodding Rothun very uncomfortably.
I'll turn and look at Rothun and say in comment, so he's going to measure you, so whatever he wants you to do, whatever jerky motion he wants, you better do it, otherwise they're not going to make your armor, because they're not happy about having to make half plate, bud.
Then the dwarf turns to you and says, tell Tree Man to sit the fuck down. I gotta get measurements taller from further up.
He says to sit down.
So he starts poking more, poking inside of his ear, poking was not like just being obnoxious about it at this point. And he turns to you and you can tell with his undead, broken jaw, there's a little bit of grin. He goes, "How long is this fool gonna let me poke him? I'm totally done by now." But he just keeps sitting here like a fucking moron.
I'm gonna laugh and respond in Dwarven and go, "I told him to let him do whatever he wanted, so he'll probably sit here for quite a while."
He looks at you. He goes, "I like you." And he just continues to poke him. And he gets bored after a while. He goes, "Okay. Come back in a day." And he goes back and he sticks his hand inside the thing. And you can see, like, the slag of metal. He's, like, pulling these darker bits out and just tossing them wherever as he's forming a brick out of what's left. He is purifying whatever was tossed in there, which was the last of the adamantine from Rothan's armor.
Quick question, boys. Did you mean, like, tomorrow or a full 24 hours?
Jack, tomorrow. We might be done. We might not.
Fair enough. Alright, little funny's done. Let's get out of here.
Rothan stands up. That was weird. Why don't they use, like, measuring knots like normal?
Don't question the master craftsman. Do you want armor or not?
Yes, I do.
Well, then, you just have to accept what happened to you.
That was really uncomfortable.
Well, it's probably a good thing you didn't ask for the full plate then. Who knows where they would have poked.
Yeah, okay. I'm gonna go back inside now. Thank you for your help.
You do that. I actually guess I'll stay here and watch him work.
They don't talk while they work. There's no communication between them, and yet they work together like a team that has been doing this for eons. There is no need for communication. They know, like, their rhythm is such that they know when to move for another one to move to take place, like, as they're going. And you can tell at this point that piece of metal they had on the anvil, like, it's turning into a longer flat section of metal, like maybe a back piece or front piece of some kind of plate or something. Like, they were able to work it very quickly, and with it being adamantine, like, you could only imagine, like, the skill that takes to know when to hit, how to hit, and with what force to hit. That they were able to take that brick and turn it into something this quickly. Like, this place is blessed, but that, like, even considering your role from before, that if you were to take a brick of adamantine by yourself to try to shape it to what they've done, would have probably taken you a month by yourself to do. They've done that in seemingly a couple of hours as this has progressed.
And I'm sure it's just like a hammer machine gun. It's just like ding 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 ding.
It's a very timed rhythm. Ting 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 ting. Ting 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 ting. Ting 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 ting. And sometimes it's ting 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 ting. Like, they're very much, it's almost musical. 3 hours later, Trix, your tools have all been tatted up.
Okay.
And it has been a very miserable experience for you.
Long, miserable.
Long, miserable, people crying, kids screaming, crazy old guy with a large eye just cackling the entire time.
Okay. Do I? It's after dark by this.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Okay.
It's well past dark 30.
Okay. So I definitely I go find the midwife.
Okay.
Lady.
Easy enough to do.
Okay. So I go up to her. Okay. Now that everybody's done, you all can go through the barrier. It's late enough now that I can show you where the sleeping quarters are. But then in the morning, it's time to get to work. So those who can cook can cook. For those who can do potions, go with the Bastani in the kitchen as well. Those who can hunt and gather. The kids can sweep floors. If you can swing a forge or a hammer, you can check them to see if they need work. Construction's happening. And I'm guiding them through the barrier as I'm talking.
Okay. Real quick, give me a history roll with advantage.
Uh-oh. I forgot to. History roll with advantage. Okay.
Yeah, there's no way the castle itself is going to support this many people. Even the ravens sleep outside. There is no sleeping quarters for
Okay,
this
okay.
many people inside the castle.
You guys may have. Okay. So retract that and start heading towards the rare raven camp to see if I can't let them camp there with them. So, but I'm describing where everything is, pointing things out as we go.
Okay.
If you can construct things, you go here. If you can forge things, you go there. Cook here. Everybody needs to train. Period. Young, old. At least once a day, if not more. You can either do morning, noon, or night as we head towards the Rare Raven camp. And I don't have my notes, so I don't remember the guy's name. Am I to look forward to be like, here, can I sleep with you? The guy's like...
He looks you up and down and says, yes, you can.
Not now. Can they sleep here in the camp?
It's not what you asked.
I know that's not what I asked. Thanks.
I think wit would help in this regard as far as
Yes.
like getting people situated, the kindness, kind of. I mean, they shared stuff with you guys last time, very much welcoming you guys into different fires, so it's just a bigger encampment. Brix, give me a persuasion roll. With advantage, because wit's helping. Let's see what happens here. Okay. You can tell that Adrian's not exactly happy about it, but he's willing to let it happen for now because he knows, he tells you that, that it's not going to be a permanent thing. That's why we're building structures on the other side for places for people more, as he gestures around, living people to have actual roofs over their heads instead of tents. But sure, that's fine for now.
Okay. And I point out, I don't think I ever got her name. I just say, this is the midwife lady, and I point her out. And then the guy who said that he was really good at being sneaky, I point him out. So
Okay.
The midwife lady has shown that she can kind of control the group and get them to focus. And that guy said he can sneak.
Okay. Let me get...
I don't recall if we ever got names for either one of those two.
This is my journal. I need to go to here. There and there. There we go. So as you point this out, the midwife introduces herself, and she goes, Yes, hello. My name is Katerina, and we are from Kresk. Apparently, we were living with a bunch of shadowy people who suddenly disappeared after these folks came and went to the abbey above the mountain top. Not sure what they did, but they seemingly have changed our lives forever since then. And we were given a choice to stay in Kresk and die like animals, or do something with our lives, and, well, I would rather do something with what's left of my life than not. So we're here, tatted up and everything, and of course, we will pull our weight.
I'll see you in the morning, Katerina.
Yes, yes, sleep well. And then she starts yelling at the kids who are poking each other's tattoos as she walks over there and smacks them upside the head. And then starts ushering people, and they start getting around the fires, and the were ravens start trying to offer different bits of food, and they're starting to share their stuff, and it's like a slow roll, like really uncomfortable situation, but yeah, they get there.
Thanks, Adrian. Have a good one. And I turn around and head towards my room.
Arcadia, seeing the group of your fellow Kresnites, whatever the hell we're calling them, do you follow inside the barrier, or do you stay outside with Viviana?
Stay outside.
Okay.
You don't have to stay with me if you don't want to, Archie.
Oh, I know. So what are you gonna do now?
Probably sleep at some point if we're taking a long walk in the morning. Do you want me to embroider your tattoo for you, like somewhere on your clothes too? Wouldn't that be pretty?
That's a really good idea.
Ooh, what
Maybe-
about on that portrait thing you're working on?
Hey, who told you about that?
You did.
Oh, crap. No, that's okay. You're right. We should probably all sleep. I'm gonna go.
Okay.
I'm gonna stand up and have a good night and go
See you
back
in the
to
morning,
barrier.
Archie.
All right. So you're going back through the barrier into the castle grounds itself.
Yeah, and I'm just gonna find like a random skeleton and be like, is there a place to sleep in there somewhere for like living people?
Random skeleton. Roll me a d4.
D4.
The random skeleton points to where the were-ravens and the rest of your Kresk people are at.
Cool beans. I'm gonna head that way.
Okay. I mean, easy enough for you to do. Anything that you want to do there?
Yeah, I'm gonna go up and find where Wit is. Be like, this is where we sleep? We sleep outside? This is nice. I like all the fires. And I'm just gonna go sit by a fire, probably like right by Adrian.
Okay.
Hey, how you doing? And just look around and observe all the people.
I am doing well. Did you need anything in particular? Or just sitting down to hang out?
I'm just hanging out. I'm gonna go sleep after a while. You got any food?
I'm sure someone does.
You don't have any food.
No.
I'm just gonna stand up and walk around and look for anybody who's eating, and just sit down and be like, "Hey, can I have some of that?"
Easy enough to find people eating, and they share.
And then I will find a random tent and just go in there. It doesn't matter who's sleeping in there.
Checks out. Siobhan, are you done guarding the door to the war room, or are you going to do something? Are you typing something to us? Okay. And remember, if you want to have the super cool background noises, use the Cernscape web player, because there's shit playing. It's in the cause links and the cause game notes. It's in the players chat, because I need to pin it everywhere, because one of our players likes pens.
I totally forgot about that. I was wondering why it was so quiet in here. Oops.
Well, Viviana, you can certainly try. Okay. Would you have attempted to go through the doorway into the catacombs below, or would you have just done things on the surface level? While you are tippity typing, let's take our first bathroom break. Well, let me click the button that puts us back on the internet. Try not to forget it for, the rest of the game. Not that that's never happened.
Are we back online? Testing, testing.
The internet says we are. That's good enough for me. Siobhan, just checking the ground level, making sure nobody's being stupid, and if they are, punch them in the face. Got it. Okay. So Trix, after you get the people over to the kindness, what are you doing?
How late is it? Like, can I still see, or is it like...
I mean, it's Barovia darkness. There's no such thing as seeing. Like with a torch, sure. You were able to see around campfires, but
Yeah, I would go on to my room. I was gonna say I'd probably go spar, but if it's too dark, then I wouldn't. I would just go on in my room and plan on sparring in the morning.
okay. Fair enough. Rothun eats and goes to bed. Wit does whatever shenanigans Wit does. Probably going to go snuggle with Arcadia. That seems like something Wit would do. Valgwyn, how long are you going to stay in the forge?
Oh, for a little while, and then basically I just wanted to, see how they were working, maybe glean something from that. And then obviously I'm going to go, well, maybe not obviously, since you're asking, but I'm going to go to the foodstuffs area, and I'm looking for 3 things. Honey, water, and yeast.
Give me an investigation check with advantage. Okay. You find water.
Cool. Is there any grain instead of honey?
There is some kind of grain.
Can I eat some of it and see what it is?
I mean, it's close to wheat-ish. It's Barovia, so it's not exactly what you're hoping and expecting for.
Well, it'll do in a pinch. Well, I guess I'm gonna have to look around and find some parts, and we're gonna have to make a still.
I mean, are you gonna go back to the forge and try to forge these things? Because,
if I have to, yes.
I mean, because you know that the only place that's gonna have anything of what you're looking for would be the winery. But as far as that stuff being at the castle, no.
Oh, you know what? We saw the bomb makers out there, right? The Vistani traders, so to speak.
Earlier you did, yes.
Are they still around?
You haven't seen them since it got really dark after you've left the forge area.
Ah, damn it. So we can make real small batches if they got some alchemist tools. Well, I'll ask him in the morning then.
Okay.
But for now, I guess I'll go back to the forge and, hey lads, once you're done with that armor, can you make me a big copper kettle with the thing and it goes in the coil? Look, yeah. Hepburn said he didn't want any of the raven piss, so we're going to have to distill some of our own booze, you know what I'm saying?
They stopped forging the armor altogether. As soon as you said Hepburn and booze. The fucks for the armor were out the door.
Way
They go getting multiple bricks of copper and start bringing that in and start getting to work.
Well, I guess I'm not going to, like, actively participate, but I'll just stand in a motionless state and then every so often be like, yeah, so the coil needs to be about this shape and about that size and blah, blah, blah. Basically, unless they look like they know what they're doing, and then I'll just let them do their thing.
It takes probably all of like 10 minutes before they tell you to get your fucking hands dirty. They're not your slaves.
Fair enough. I will help them then.
And away you go in the zone as the Blessing of Morden takes over.
We're building a still.
The things you do in Dungeons and Dragons.
What do you use for a replacement for yeast?
I don't think.
Well, there's this thing
I-
called natural yeast.
I don't think you need it for making a mash.
Well, as you're forging, some of you's asleep and Viviana's, when you created your Temple of the Gods, what were you warding against?
Everything possible on my list. Which is... Let me pull up the spell again. Where did it go?
I got it.
Okay.
Choose one or more of the following.
All of them.
Celestials, elementals, fae, fiends, or undead. It's interesting that's not and or undead. It's just or undead.
Mm-hmm.
Cool.
All of the above.
Egg salad. Egg salad. Yep. Viviana, there's a knock on your temple door that is loud enough to reach you into your room.
I will come down to the door and say through it, "Who is it?"
One who shines brightest when the darkness thinks it's won.
I'll open the door.
So when you open the door, there's nobody there. Give me a perception check. As you look out beyond the door, those aren't Barovian trees. That's not Barovian grass. And there's sunlight outside your door.
I'm very confused, but I take a step outside because sunlight can't be bad. In my mind.
Okay. As you step outside and kind of take things in, beautiful bright green grass. You can see different kinds of flowers that you don't have names for, just mixed in with the grasses, from yellows and pinks to darker purples. And you can see there's all kinds of insect life that you don't have names for, that are going about from flower to flower, and they seem to be just going around. The trees that you can see have like a deep brown bark that's almost vibrant. And as you follow them up, and you're in some kind of pathway inside of a forest. The leaves of these things, very thin, prickly evergreens, and they're super dark green as they go up and up and up. And you're expecting to see mists, but you see blue skies and the hint of a burning ball of light in the distance beyond the tree line. And as you look around and you take all this in, as you're spinning, your temple is gone. You're in a forest full of life, not in Barovia. What do you do?
Hey, I kind of like flustered a little bit and just go like softly, just say like, "Where am I?" In hopes that something says something, or if I can notice anything that might, because like this doesn't look like the purple grass that I could see through the mist when Ro got pushed
Correct.
out.
It's correct. It's not.
Okay. It's like you said, green. Okay.
As you
yeah.
ask that question, that where am I? You don't know if it's in response to your question or if it's just something that happened, but you do feel a very gentle breeze come across your skin, shake the trees a little bit, and it smells alive. But otherwise, no response.
This isn't Barovia, that's for sure.
As you're looking around, you can walk through the forest, or you seem to be on what looks like an animal trail. It's not very big. It's definitely not wagon sized. The split in between the tree line. You can go left, or you can go right. With your 31, you would have noticed that the big ball of light in the sky is to your right.
Then I'm going to go right. On the path. And just be keeping my eyes open, like, not sure that because like I don't understand what's really going on, so I want to make sure that I'm like aware of my surroundings type of a thing as I go.
As you start walking that direction, your body feels light. Like even the things that you're wearing and carrying, they just feel almost non-existent.
Huh.
Feels like you could do anything here, be anything here.
I'm just gonna kind of like start talking almost to myself, but out loud, just because like I have a feeling that this is something more than what it seems to be. So I'm just kind of gonna be like, "Hi, I'm Viviana. I know this isn't Barovia, but that's where I'm from. Sorry, there's people in my house."
It's okay. Don't worry about it. As you're walking, birds chirping in the trees around you, strange small creatures that leap from branch to branch, that have these bushy and at the tip curly tails that have either brown or gray fur.
But they're not bitey.
They're not biting.
They're not like little demon bities.
They're not. They're
like Barovia.
No. Some of them look at you as they stuff their cheeks with some kind of nut or acorn as they continue scurrying around. As you continue walking around, or walking towards the ball of light. In front of you, jumping out of the forest, is this four-legged creature that's got brown fur, but from like the neck and underside is white, little dots of white fur about them. These ears that are really tall, a muzzle that comes out maybe about 6 inches or so, big black nose, stops, stares at you with the ears up, and its mouth is just moving like it's eating something. These
Hi.
big doe-like eyes just staring at you. What do you do?
Hello, I'm Viviana. Are you a nice thing?
It jumps across the way into the forest on the other side and continues on.
Okay.
Again,
It
a
wasn't a
creature
wolf
you
that
do
tried to
not
eat
have a
me.
name for.
It wasn't a wolf that tried to eat me, or like, one of those, what are those, blue rabbits?
There wasn't anything that tried to seemingly eat you, unless it was nibbling on your soul invisibly.
I mean, as one does.
Obviously. You walk this path, seemingly not to get tired. But as you walk, you notice that it doesn't seem like you're going anywhere. While the scenery changes and you're obviously walking. It's not like the same colored butterfly that you see every time. It's not a repeated scene. It's definitely new every time.
But like the sun isn't getting any closer.
The sun isn't getting any closer, nor has it seemed to move in the sky.
Okay. But I'm just kind of gotta stop. Am I supposed to go somewhere? What is this place? Okay, just listen around and
you hear sounds that are obvious you're not in Barovia. There's so much life in this forest. The wind blowing, rustling the trees, and the trees not making strange cracking and creakling sounds as though straining against the wind to not break because of how brittle and withered they are. They move, but they flow with the wind. They are alive, but not, I'm going to eat you alive. Because there's a difference.
yes, there is. Well aware.
Otherwise, there's no changes.
Going to sit down for a moment then and just take a moment to meditate, pray type thing, to think to ask the Morning Lord if what I should be doing here to give guidance.
Give me a religion skill check. You've never, there's not even been stories of anything like this happening before with, as far as you know, with anyone. You're fairly certain that this is probably a test of some kind. But there aren't any obvious clues, and there's no response from the Morning Lord. The only thing as you sit and you meditate is that your body feels light, like weights literally lifted off your shoulder. Your soul feels light, as though the light of the sun has burned away all worries, fears, and things that could hold you down. Everything around seems alive, seems very much in tandem, not necessarily working together, but they work together.
Mm-hmm.
There's a cycle, there's a
Yeah.
purpose. Everything it has, nothing is overtly aggressive, but nor is everything overtly passive. Everything is seemingly in place, almost too perfectly so. Especially from your perspective of Barovia being so bad that this that you're in, that you're seeing, that you're experiencing, even though you have a calmness about you, something within you still screams in retaliation, as though you haven't really accepted it, as though you know that this cannot be real. But otherwise, no words, no feelings, nothing that you haven't already experienced and figured out. The ball of light doesn't seem to move. And though as you sit there, different animals like get close up to you, and as soon as you move, they dart off again. From, squirrels and skunks, and raccoons, things you don't have words for,
Yeah.
but
Little
different
things that
small
aren't,
type
like-
animals.
They don't have giant fangs and they aren't trying to murder me. So that's a plus. So if I'm feeling light, is that like not physically light? Like, do I think I could like fly or something? Or is it just more like the feeling of worries gone?
Your body feels lighter, like you feel lighter. Not only in your worries and anxieties and fears, but again, the things that you are wearing and carrying, you don't really feel. So as a whole, you feel lighter.
Okay. Even though I don't need it for vision purposes, I'm going to cast light just as like, just in my hand to help me feel it and just keep walking towards the sun, I guess. 'Cause-
Okay. What do you cast light on?
My lanterny thing that I have, my little.
All right,
It's
so
a little ball of lantern.
you reach to the side of where like it hangs on a loop.
Yep.
And you pull the lantern out and you focus and you cast light within it.
Mm-hmm.
And the entire world goes dark as a light in the sky is inside your lantern.
I make sure I don't drop it and try to figure out what happened. Like I'm like, going through all the things that I knew about light.
As that happens, as the world goes dark, that voice again that you heard knocking at your door. The brightest light is the one that burns when darkness thinks it's won.
The darkness won't win.
As you have that lantern and you're looking around, you can see the trees are withering.
I just look around, very confused, and just say out loud, how do I put it back?
As you say that, that taller creature that had the brown, white dotted fur and the fur belly and the, that had the tuft of fur that came up from their neck, jumps out from the trees into the light that you hold within the lantern, falls over as the back half of it has withered, as though the very essence was pulled out as it ran towards the light.
I clutch the lantern tighter, and then I drop the spell to see if this light goes back to the sun.
When you cancel the light spell, the lantern goes dark, as is the world.
I panic then because it's dark everywhere and try to cast light on the lantern again.
As you are panicking and you're trying to cast light again, and it's not working. And you try again, and there's nothing there. And again, and the light doesn't shine. Give me a perception check. Okay. Surrounded in darkness that you are realizing that if there's not a light source, how is it you can see your hand, let alone the lantern?
Mm-hmm.
And as you're kind of focusing on that, you kind of instinctively move your hand up to your scar. And as you do so, the light dims and dims and dims. Your scar is giving off light.
I just take a deep breath and try to figure out what's going on, and then go, Lathander, help me. I don't understand.
Are you still moving, or have you stopped?
Oh, I stopped when it got dark. I don't like dark.
Okay. Okay. Then, as you're stopped, the not burning lantern in your hand still, you figuring out that your scar is giving off at some kind of dim light at this point, maybe about the same amount equivalent of a candle.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, small creatures are coming out of the forest to try to get into the light, and you're seeing them as they're withered and dying before you. Insects, animals. You hear the creaking and cracking of trees. You can only imagine that the flowers around in the grass probably long since become brown and dust. Give me a religion check. very, very faintly, you hear those same words again. Light burns brightest when darkness thinks it's won.
The darkness isn't going to win, and I hold my I pull out my fan and I use my channel divinity radiance of the dawn.
As you have that fan out, bringing it close to you, really, really like reaching deep within yourself and your belief to fight against darkness as a whole, to even in the midst of the suffering and death around you, refusing to believe that darkness will win. From your scar burns a bright light, banishing the shadows and darkness around before rising back up into the sky once again. And the little critters and creatures around begin to unwither, come back to life. Grass grows, flowers bloom, trees seem to regain their color in leaves. And the animals start going back to the forest.
Darkness isn't going to win. It can't.
Give me a perception check. Hot fucking damn. Excuse me. Well done. I put that as extremely difficult. You beat it by 4. That's well done. As you look around, it's only now, and you don't know if it's better than this whole time, or if you needed something, some trigger within you to continuously fight against darkness, even if the odds seem against you. That maybe that helped. But you can just make out stairs made out of light that go up and beyond the tree line.
I go over and start taking the stairs.
As you take a step down, half believing it'll work and half not, you step and there's like a ripple of light, but you are touching something solid as you step again and again and again, and you start making your way up. And as you pass above the tree line, you can tell that the stairway of light is leading to the big light in the sky. And as you continuously go up, you can see that wherever you are, either it isn't a indefinite sight or your sight has been limited. But you can tell you only see a certain part of the forest and of the sky. You don't see anything beyond about 300 feet.
Mm-hmm.
And as you make your way up beyond clouds to that bright section, you take this last step, and you are in a temple with massive pillars seemingly holding up this big burning star. And across the way from you, sitting down, is an individual in what looks like brass armor that almost has a slight burn to it. Their foot is bigger than you are. So this is you. This is their foot.
Yep.
In full armor, sitting on a massive throne that is burning with light, as they are seemingly sitting back against their face is nothing but a burning ball of fire. You can see that to their left, sitting down, with pointed down with the shaft sticking up, is some kind of mace that, again, massive in comparison to you, and they're far away, but they're still like real big. You can only imagine if you were to get closer, like it's not even that you'd crane your neck. You basically break yourself trying to look up to see them. To their right is a massive shield wreathed in fire and light. And there's just a hand, what seems to be resting on a head. But again, the hand's just a big ball of burning fire. And there is a voice that just echoes. Why do you worship the light?
Because the light overcomes
in a voice that doesn't match the body you're looking at. The voice very seemingly gender neutral to female, whereas the body that you're looking at appears more masculine in nature.
The light overcomes the darkness.
Does it always?
It has to. Only a candle. Make it leave. For a little bit. And we need more than a little bit.
How much more do you need, child of light?
My people need the sun.
The sun was banished from your world long ago. Do your people even remember us?
Vaguely. In stories.
As you say that, the hand that was like leaning against what looked like, again, ball of fire shifts, and the body posture completely changes from indifference to now you have my attention. And then a different voice sounds off. What do you mean vaguely? You are here.
Most of us have forgotten because we don't see it. But we know enough to know that there's something more than what we have. And the few clerics that have made it have told us that the light will come.
You can tell the body goes back to indifference. And another voice, the more gender neutral / feminine voice. The light never left, child. It was just hidden away. Hasn't the silver one told you where to go?
Yes. Super S.
then go. Find your light again.
I will.
Good. Don't give up, child. For if you do, the candle will be snuffed out.
I won't. Thank you.
You wake up in the bed that you made in your temple, covered in sweat. And for a reason that you can only imagine, you are extremely warm.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody can go ahead and hit their long rest button. If you are someone cool who has to prepare spells for the day, go ahead and do so. And yes, Valgwin, you get a rest by forging things now. That is your rest.
Sweet. Hot damn.
Nice, relaxing time in the forge making something.
Ting ting.
There are so many more choices for spells. It's kind of ridiculous.
What's that? You want more choices? Okay.
There are so many. It's glorious.
Yes,
I love it.
yes.
You can always give us more.
Your 657 spells aren't enough. Don't worry, I got you. I like making Valgwin have to do HTML tables.
Wonderful. I got some more books.
Meanwhile, Valgwin's like,
I'm going to tell him all the ideas to kill your character.
Look, I haven't had any good bad ideas recently. At least not for this campaign.
Uh-huh.
He's got his own campaign to put all that energy into.
Oh no, I spread it around. My campaign doesn't need any extra bad ideas. The players come up with they do it themselves. I don't even need to do anything to them.
truth. Players do it to themselves.
Because you love us.
I'm just here putting like the nails in the coffin. Like they've already climbed in and shut the lid.
By the time morning has come, Valgwin, you have everything you need to brew, except for the actual ingredients themselves.
It's okay. I have a plan for that. I would like to go find Esmeralda's wagon.
Easy enough to do. It's bright.
I will politely knock on the door.
How early are you doing so?
Oh, I'm gonna wait till probably at least what would be like actual daylight, because God knows she's probably still sleeping. Otherwise,
So, Barovian daylight's like 9 o'clock?
yes.
Okay.
Otherwise, I will. I'll fill up. I'll start boiling. Well, not boiling, but heating my water in the still.
Okay. She opens the door to the wagon. And she like has a shocked face and goes, "Well, I didn't think you would be a gentleman caller."
Hey, I'm not here for what you're thinking, but I remember from my time in the wagon that you had quite a well-stocked provision room for your kitchen.
Yes.
And I was wondering if I could have some yeast. And perhaps any barley you might have.
I don't have barley, but we could get some. Yeast I have.
What other type of grain could you possibly have in there?
I mean, I have wheat. What are you trying to make?
Well, you see, me and the kinsman made a still last night, so we're hoping to make some liquor.
I've got honey and sugar, different kinds of fruits.
Plus yeast, and we can make mead, which kind of makes the still pointless, but next trip out of town... Look at that look like, you know what I'm saying. You get me the ingredients and we can make some booze.
Barley. That's what you want, barley.
Well, corn and barley.
Corn and barley.
And yeast.
Yeah, why don't you give me like an hour or two?
Oh, well, okay.
And then she closes the door, her wagon is gone.
Was I like standing on the stair, which I assume I was?
Like on the stair, so you got to fall a little
to the
bit.
ground? Yeah.
I mean, that checks out for Esmeralda's temperament.
Well, right then. Well, I guess I'll go see if Godfrey's around.
Okay. I guess everybody else kind of waking up, heading for breakfast. Is anybody gonna? What are you guys doing?
Imagine waking up from the cuddle pile, because I'm totally thinking there was a cuddle pile. And just sort of following the were-ravens around to see how breakfast gets served and just like, stand in the line and get my breakfast.
So are you gonna wake up early?
Usually, like whenever the camp starts to stir. Birds are gonna wake up early, I would think.
Okay. I mean, they're up before there's light outside.
Yeah, then we're all up.
So what are you doing afterwards? Because then they leave. And it's still
Then
not, I mean, it's starting to get, it's still not even getting light outside. You know you've got a couple hours till it's light.
probably head back towards the castle and see if I can find anybody else to see what they're doing.
I mean, there's a lot of dead people.
Are the skeletons chopping things? Are they training? Are there skeletons training in the yard? Are they
Yeah.
chopping each other up?
They're not chopping each other up, but they're definitely doing motions in sync.
I'm gonna go and do motions in sync with the skeletons. That sounds like fun.
Okay.
Skeleton exercises.
Sure. Siobhan, what do you do after you meditate for 4 hours and have the rest of the fucking day to pick your nose? I mean, because we all know Trex is going to get food and then go in the training yard.
coming together.
Okay. I mean, Rothan gets up, eats, and goes on training yard. Well, there's a bunch of living people who are doing their best to mimic what the dead people are doing. But the ravens are gone. All these people with their whispers. So after breakfast and workout time, who's doing what? What's going on?
I mean, waiting for Esmeralda to come back, so...
You're just gonna pace?
Well, I mean, now that I know she's also got honey and bringing yeast, I might as well go make another separate apparatus with an airlock on it. To make meat in. Because that doesn't need to be cooked.
Fair enough.
I guess I'll go find the kinsman and let them know, hey, here's what we need to make now, but I'll just start right in with them immediately.
Yeah, that checks out. That doesn't take you guys long at all. Not at all. Easy peasy for you guys to make. And then they start talking about how they forgot even to do anything with Tall Guy's armor. It might be another day.
As I'm out on the training yard, I do say into the tattoo to Valguin, Arcadia, Siobhan, to our group. So when are we leaving out? Ro?
Now. Let's leave now.
Is that an airplane in the music? I'm sorry.
It's rolling thunder.
I thought I heard a vroom. Okay. Anyway.
It's Barovian Airways. They're always running flights from the town of Barovia over at the Kresk.
Oh, that's new. When are we leaving?
Aye, so Rothan's armor isn't going to be ready for another day or so. Unless you just want him to park his dumbass here.
I mean,
I'll not send that part to Rothan.
The plan was to go to Berez, see if the cauldron was still where we left it, and come back, and then go to the falls, right?
Mm-hmm.
So there was this whole part about that was ancillary to going to the Temple of Lathander in Berez for Viviana.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about.
Well, you said go to the cauldron and then come back here.
No, I said go to. Oh, yeah, go to Berez for Vivi's thing, see if the cauldron's there, come back here, then go to the falls.
Aye, yeah. Also, I'm waiting on some information from the Ravens about something else that could be important.
Okay.
So we're not leaving now?
Well, I'm waiting for Esmeralda to come back. She should be back here shortly.
I would know how long it would take us to get to Berez, right? Like 3 days? 2 days, 3 days?
Well, if you walk, how about a day and a half?
Okay.
If Valgwin goes Silver Surfer on your asses,
Less than that.
a god annoyingly minute or two.
Okay.
Also above table, doesn't Rothan still have like 2 levels of exhaustion or something like that?
I don't know. We have a timetable and we were told what to do, so when do we leave?
We leave now, right? Imagine Archie's like walking out towards where Vivi would be, just sort of looking down. We leave now, right?
I can actually see that, which makes it hilarious.
So, like I said, I'm waiting on 2 pieces of information. Well, 1 piece of information and a delivery. So, if you can wait like another hour or 2, we can just go there, lickety split probably.
Okay. That answered the question. Couple hours. Thank you. I go back to like just watching the training field and giving kids like sticks and showing them how to use the weapon training.
Very good. Arcadia, covered in sweat, heading out to Viviana's temple. What are you doing?
Mm-hmm.
Looking for where the temple would be and go knock on the door.
Viviana, you got a knock on your door.
I open the door. Oh, come on in, Archie. You can go use the bath if you want.
Morning, sunshine. How'd you sleep?
Interestingly,
What's that mean?
well, I had a dream vision thing and just let's go to Perez.
You had a dream vision thing? What's a dream vision thing? What did you see
It's a great
now?
question, and that's what makes it confusing. And let's just go to Perez, okay? Where's
No,
everybody?
no. Dream vision thing requires more explanation than great question. And I'm just gonna like sit down on a piece of furniture and like put my feet up and cross them and go like this, be like, I'm waiting.
How about a very beautiful forest that's not Barovia and the sun is glorious? And let's go to Perez.
You had a. That sounds like a rather comforting thing. You don't seem comforted right now, so what is happening?
I have to go to Perez so that way we don't lose the light.
What are you talking about? The light's right there. I'm like pointing at your scar.
Thanks, but everybody needs more light than this light. I just can't do it on
I
my
don't-
own.
As long as I've been around, it's been enough. I don't know what the fuck you're talking about.
When's everybody else gonna be ready to leave?
They and I'm gonna look down again and be like, a few hours.
Okay then. A few hours, lovely.
Can I go up? I'm gonna go upstairs, and I'm gonna go upstairs to what used to be my room,
It's still there, don't worry.
and I'm gonna go upstairs.
Just shake my head at Archie.
The door.
What are you doing upstairs?
I'm going to send you a private message.
Oh dear.
It is a private thing.
That's why he closed the door. Wow, it's got to be
Apparently.
super serious if Arcadia's closing the door.
Oh no. Maybe I should
Okay.
have told her the room wasn't there anymore.
Too late. It's been contaminated. Don't go in that room anymore.
Obviously I don't. Archie puts all sorts of weird stuff on the walls. It's fine.
Smells and whatnot.
You know, Archie, once this is done, we just need a year and we can have this temple forever.
I'm busy. Slam the door.
Oh dear.
Okay then.
Oh wait, I have that in my backpack. I don't know why I'm fucking asking about that.
Airplane going across again. What?
Oh, sorry, I didn't know if you wanted to finish with them before I started yickety yakking.
I haven't received what they're doing, so start yicky
Oh
yakking.
well, so I'll start yickety yakking then. I'm gonna go get into my journal, which really hasn't been used too much since I've switched to my domain. And I'm gonna tear a piece of it out, and I'm gonna write down very detailed instructions on how to work this still. Like, what temperatures to put the water at, how long to let the mash rest, what quantities of things to mix together between barley, corn, sugar, and yeast, and all that jazz. And then I'm going to go find my kinsmen, and I'm going to run them through this list, because obviously I can't be here to watch this still 24/7.
Okay.
And then
you're going to attempt to teach old ancient dwarves how to make alcohol.
If I could figure out how to make armor, they can figure out how to make alcohol with instructions.
Okay. It's gonna go great, I'm sure. Okay.
It will be... I mean, look, as they said, it can't be any worse than Raven Piss. I will also inform them that they don't want the heads of the distillation because that shit's toxic. You gotta get that out of there. You want the hearts of the distillation and slight part of the tails because that's what gives it the bite. But you don't want all of the tails. You want to recycle that into the next batch.
Oh, I mean, they're nodding like they're understanding.
Yes. Good. Excellent. I mean, yeah. Getting into it. Like temperatures, how much to let it cool at, how long you're gonna have to let it rest. And then, you know, you're gonna take like a third of the sour mash from the first batch, and you're gonna recycle that into the next batch. So you're always gonna be taking a portion of the previous batch and putting it into the next one.
They nod.
And then I'll ask, do you all understand?
Boil, batch, batch, boil, batch. Drink!
Close enough. If there's anything that dwarves can do, it's make shit in a forge and make alcohol. It's part of the bloodline. We're gonna go with genetic memory on this one.
Mm-hmm.
Except for the mead. I'll make that myself before we leave. And they just gotta let it ferment.
Okay. While you are in there having your conversation with them, you hear a whisper in the back of your mind. Are you going to make a lady wait all day?
Mid-sentence in Dwarven, I'll stop. And I'll say to them, right, so look over this sheet here. I have to go pick up the ingredients. Don't cock it up. And then I'll start heading towards where I last saw Esmeralda's wagon.
So you go to where the wagon was, and you can already see that there are 6 barrels and about 12 sacks. In addition to 8 about gallon-sized glass dark brown jars. And she goes, well, this should be enough for you, I hope, right?
Hey, so what do we all have here then?
She points to the barrels, barley that you asked for. She points to the sacks, corn that you asked for. And she points to the dark brown, the 8 gallon-sized jugs, and she goes, interesting honey that might be useful.
Wonderful. And then you said you had the sugar and yeast, correct?
Yes,
already?
I do.
Excellent. Obviously this goes without saying, but you're entitled to a portion of every batch created since you have been supplying the ingredients.
I'm glad we understand each other.
Excellent.
She goes back inside. She comes outside with probably about a 6 or 8 pound sack that she sets on one of the things as your yeast. And how much of the sugar did you need?
Just 8 pounds to start.
All right. She goes back inside, and then she comes outside with a 12-pound sack and sets it down. Not
Excellent.
opening that just to get 8 pounds out. There you go.
Excellent. Well, I'll see if I can round up the kinsmen, and we'll get to work right away. Also, I'll make a copy of all of the directions that I gave my kin.
Okay.
And I'll give them to Esmeralda, and I'll say, I instructed them on how to use this thing, but they're a bit old, even by Dwarven standards. Perhaps you can have your Vistani friends who seem to be alchemically inclined to check in on the still and make sure everything's going according to plan. And of course, they can have some of the production as well.
Have you ever had Vistani beer?
Was it the stuff that Madame Ava gave us that one time, and then we danced for 3 days straight and didn't know where I was afterwards?
So you have had it.
I...
Are you very certain you want my kin looking over your distillation process? They may decide to improve it.
Well, if you could check in on this.
I like how Valwood gives it a serious thought.
It's like, it was pretty good. But I don't need to be unconscious for 3 days, days after drinking it.
But we do have a potential war to win.
Exactly. Kind of a little thought there, like, it was pretty good. The dead ones would probably really enjoy it.
Dead lines, that's just what they call ectoplasm being snorted into your nose, right? So dead lines? You alright there, Arcadia?
I feel like Supernatural missed a potential plot line.
Hey, you know what? Season 18, come look at me. Let's go. Okay. She says, I'll do my best. That's all I can say.
I'll greatly appreciate it. And then I'll start to walk away, and I'll turn back and I'll be like, thank you again. And then I'll keep heading back towards the forge area, where I'll...
Wait! Come back here, Velgwyn.
Okay.
Yeah,
I'll come back.
Hold on. She goes inside.
Oh god, it's Philip.
And she comes back outside with a small cage with your chicken. And she sets it down. You're Philip. And the chicken just looks at you and like begins dancing left and right.
Philip, I haven't seen you in so long, I almost forgot about you.
It begins to peck at like the locking mechanism of the cage itself.
Oh, do you want out then, do you? Spent long enough cooped up inside Esmeralda's wagon, have you?
Dances back and forth, pecks the lock. Dances back and forth, pecks the lock.
Alright, before I let you out, there are some ground rules here. You can't leave the Argynvost barrier. Quite literally, it will cook you alive. And then you'll be eaten by other birds, because they're hungry. So, you know what? Perhaps I should take you upstairs into the castle and, keep you out of the sight of the ravens, because, yeah. Anyway, well, thank you for bringing me, Philip.
Oh, you're very much welcome. Do you open the cage?
Not here, but I will upstairs in Ravenloft, or not Ravenloft, Argynvost Holt.
Okay. So you take the cage, go inside. Meanwhile, this chicken's just dancing back and forth. Go into what was your room kind of thing?
Yeah.
Okay. You go inside there, you set the cage down, you open the cage.
Yes.
As soon as you open up the cage and the chicken comes out, it just looks at you with these big eyes. And then you hear a voice in your head go, "Oh my God, Malcolm, you're back! I'm so excited you're back! I haven't seen you so long. Why did you leave me in that fucking place? It was so terrible. She wanted to cook me, but I wouldn't let her cook me because even though I'm chicken, I'm not real chicken. I kind of like this thing. And oh my gosh, I'm so happy that you're back. I can't believe you're back. Why'd you leave me in that place? Oh my God, it was so terrible, God." And while that all happens, you feel this bond between you two form.
Oh God.
As congratulations, you have earned a bonus class level of Animal Master. As you now, if you did not before, have training in animal handling, and should be able to... Did it add it or not? Let's find out if it added it. You gained 10 hit points. Congratulations.
Oh my lord.
It did not
there it
add.
is.
Let me go ahead and add the Beast Companion has been added. However, it's limited to a chicken. And as this thing hits, the chicken grows from a small to medium-sized creature.
I have a very serious above-table question right now.
Mm-hmm.
Is Philip big enough for me to ride him into battle?
Yes.
Oh, thank God!
He is 100% able to be ridden into battle. And you happen to know that even should he pass away, you know he's always with you. And he can be recorporealized.
This is the best thing to happen all session.
This is the best thing
A
ever.
chocobo. Guys, Valwyn has a chocobo.
We have been waiting for this since Valwyn was first introduced with Philip.
Oh my God.
Behold the Philip.
I love this.
Absolutely amazing.
This is hilarious.
By the way, we have bonus classes where if you do something cool, I reward you with an extra level in a class that gives you dope shit that does not affect your ability to hit level 20. In fact, you will be level 21, technically. These classes are not released. You do not know what they are. You will not know how to get them. But keep doing cool shit and role-playing, and you too could be rewarded with a bonus class. Congratulations. You have a medium-sized chicken. Who is now just constantly talking super fast inside your head about why is it so big now? And oh my gosh, it's hungry. She has never fed me this entire time.
My God, Philip, you can talk now. I thought it was me just going mad being alone in that wagon for like a week straight.
No, what are you talking about? I've always been able to talk to you. I was talking to you whenever you were stuck in that wagon. What are you talking about? You were talking, I was talking, we were talking. That was the thing. We were just talking together. What do you mean, what are you talking about? I was talking.
Never mind. I think I am still mad.
No, what are you mad about? Why are you mad? You couldn't be mad. Look at this. This is great. Look how big. I'm big. I'm big. I'm big. Oh, I can go with you now. I don't have to worry about anything outside because I'm super big. I'm strong. Haha, pick him to death.
That you can, Philip. Well, it just so happens that we happen to get a bunch of corn in. So, perhaps we can get you something to eat, bud.
As you say that, it looks at you and goes, and it doesn't talk fast. It goes, do you have any meat?
You want meat? I hold on one second. Let's see if I have any rations on me. I don't, but I know where we can get some. Hey, why don't you come downstairs with me then?
It
And
follows you.
I'll take him. I'll take him to the kitchen area. And
So he has to squeeze to get out of your door. He's big chicken. He's still medium creature, but he's big chicken.
Can I control his size in any way, shape, or form? Can I will him to be smaller?
You try to do so and nothing happens.
Okay. It's fine. I will assist him getting through the door as best I can.
I mean, he squeezes, he does, but it's funny because he gets out and it's there's a popping sound like. Yep. As Philip, king of the chickens, pushes through the door. Actually, queen of the chickens, because it's a chicken, not a rooster. Philip, queen of the chickens.
It's a girl chicken. Well, I will lead Philip down to the kitchen, and what selection of choice meats do we have here?
Yes.
You
got wolf and some kind of pork. Maybe
what's
pork?
What's not dried?
Both. There are dried and not dried versions.
Wolf meat. I will feed Philip a big bowl of wolf meat.
Okay. So as you Philip pecks, and it's a claw down tearing motion as it's chewing, and then it says, as it's eating, it goes, do you have anything drink? Anything that burns? Something that burns? Burns on your throat? Anything drink that burns on your throat? Gotta have something that burns on your throat? Anything drink that burns on your throat?
Sure, I'll go back into the kitchen. Is there any raven piss around?
Yes.
Well, you know what? What does that come in? What variety of container size?
From barrel down to pony sized.
We'll take a pony size, and we'll just, take the hammer and bash the lid off of that, and just set it down next to the bowl of meat.
It puts its beak in. You hear the clicking of the beak hitting each other as it takes drinks, and it goes, this is so good. I like this. This is good. And it continues eating and drinking.
I'll pat Philip on his neck. That's a good Philip. You stay right here and enjoy this meal, and I'll come find you when we're about to leave. But I got to get my kinsman, and we're going to make some more stuff that burns on the way down.
Looks at you and blinks. You don't leave me. Don't leave me. I'll follow you. I'll chase you. Don't leave me. Don't leave me again.
Finish your meal, and I'll be outside. You just come find me now.
It swallows the rest of the meat in one gulp, and then puts its beak over the pony cup, tips its head back, and then spits the barrel down and looks at you and goes, "Okay, let's go, fight, kill, ha ha."
Alrighty then, let's go.
Okay,
obviously, so I'll clean up the bowl and party keg. I'm not an absolute heathen.
Okay. Good enough. You clean up. It looks at you. It looks around at the tables, at the dead people, and it looks back at you. Are those? Can I eat those? Can I eat those? Those things? Those things right there?
No, I don't. No, don't eat those. Eat them. Don't eat those.
No.
Now, if there's other dead people that I'm trying to kill, you can eat those. But these dead people are on our side.
So anything you try to kill, I can eat?
Aye, that's a good rule of thumb. Speaking of which, do you think the word dragoon sounds tasty?
Dragoon. Yeah, sounds good. What's that? Is that tasty?
Well,
yeah, sauce?
Here in a little bit, you're probably going to be able to eat quite a few of them. By a little bit, I mean like maybe a month.
How long's a month?
Like 30 days.
Is that longer than what you left me inside that wagon that Esmeralda was trying to cook me and eat me with? Because that was like forever.
It's not as long as that. But it's coming up. We'll find other things to eat before then.
It's like switches its head around, like just looking at everything. You can tell it's obviously not familiar with its size because it bumps into everything.
As I slowly lead him away from the tables covered with explosives.
Good call. Coming outside, Trix, there's a motherfucking giant chicken thing following Valquin. Because you're in the training yard, and you can see that.
Valgwin? What is that?
Well, you see, when I first arrived here in Barovia, I spent like a week by myself in Esmeralda's wagon. And the only person there to keep me company was Philip. Well, a chicken named Philip. Well, it turns out Philip's a girl chicken. Also so happens that apparently Philip is a very large chicken. And I happened to forget him in Esmeralda's wagon as we were quickly expelled from it. And she just happened to return Philip to me, and, well, Philip, meet Trix. Trix, this is Philip. Philip, don't eat her.
You walked in without a chicken, and you walked out with the giant chicken.
The chicken turns its head, like one eye staring at you, Trix, as it moves up and down, keeps jerking its head around, it just looks around, pecks at the ground a couple times, gets back up, lifts its wing, pecks under its wing, closes its wing.
I just have the most dumbfounded look on my face and just kind of look at Valgwin and turn around and go back to the training ground.
The chicken's taller than you are, Trix.
I'm
It's
back
bigger
to my
than you are.
5'4" stature.
I know.
So, I mean...
But I mean, in comparison, right here, right? You got Philip, Trix, Valgwin.
How?
Phil's big. Phil's big girl. She's got a lot of fluffy feathers.
Giant blood anywhere? Because how do you get a giant chicken?
Well, depends on what you feed them. Which apparently raven piss and wolf meat goes a long way.
So we have you have a meat-eating, ale-drinking giant chicken.
Well, technically it was wine, but I do now, apparently. Look, all you need to know is that Philip thinks dragoons sound tasty.
Okay.
And I told him not to eat anybody here.
Okay. Okay. I'm just really dumbfounded. Like,
I mean, let's be honest. Out of all of the shite that you've seen so far, is this really that surprising?
you know, you would think I would quit getting surprised by now. But this one's just... No, it's not surprising. I just didn't expect it to be following you.
Look!
That is the surprising part.
Shite happens!
Yeah.
I wasn't intending to be dead either, and yet here we are. Although they keep saying I'm alive somehow, so... well, tomorrow's problem.
Who keeps saying that you're alive?
The kinsman.
I have a dumbfounded look on my face. I have no idea who you're talking about.
Well, you remember how, like, Misery brought all those, people back from Yesterhill?
Yeah.
Aye, so there were some kinsmen there.
Oh. Okay, now I remember. There's been like a shit ton of shit that's happened between that and now. Sorry.
Aye, well, so they're the ones working over in the forge. So they got everything set up pretty nice.
Good.
Speaking of which, are you busy? Because I could use some help carrying some luggage.
I guess not. I was just making sure the kids didn't stab themselves, really.
What's a few stab wounds between friends? How do you feel about liquor?
I like liquor as much as the next person.
Excellent, then you're going to be highly motivated to help move this luggage.
I'm not sure about that, but okay.
Look,
What's
barley, corn, sugar, yeast, honey, water. We're talking mead, we're talking distilled liquor. Better than that shit in Milwaukee.
Was that the delivery that you put us off for leaving for? Was the ingredients to make liquor?
Aye. Dwarves don't work for free or when they're thirsty.
I can definitely tell you have run into some kinsmen because you were all gonna know about us staying on schedule. Alright, come on, I'll help you move this stuff.
Look, there's other irons in the fire that definitely pertain directly to our ultimate goal, and getting the dwarf's liquor moves us closer to that objective.
How?
I'd rather not say out here, but
Okay.
trust me, this can only be a good thing.
I guess let's go move some liquor ingredients.
I will say this, consequently, the information that the ravens are out gathering also pertains to getting the dwarves' liquor.
We're still waiting on the ravens to come back.
Oh no, I'll get that report whenever, but the liquor was more important.
We're waiting for the liquor and the ravens to come back so we can go to Perez.
Well, I'll get the raven report whenever. That's, whispers in the dark and all that jazz. What the hell is jazz?
I don't know what jazz is.
Neither do I, but the words just came out of my mouth.
You have a giant chicken named Philip who likes meat and raven piss.
Which is obviously what we're calling the winery product now. That's
Just
what the kinsmen call it, is raven piss.
Don't let Wit hear that.
Nah, that would be too uncharacteristic for Valgwin to just be yell, "Hey Wit, your winery's product tastes like raven piss." Be funny, but I don't think Valgwin would do that. And Cat's not here, so there's no point.
Not really.
Valgwin, I'm bored. We gonna kill something? I'm hungry. I'm thirsty. What are we doing? Can I kill this thing? This thing that you keep talking to? Can I poke it? Can I stab it? Can I cut it? Can I eat it? No, I can't eat it. You said I need to eat it. You're not attacking
that's
it.
right.
Well, you're
I already
verbally
said-
attacking it. Does that count?
No.
Hear the chicken?
No.
Okay. Just
You do
making
not.
Sure.
But you can tell. You can tell the chicken's agitated. Like it's clawing at the ground. It's puffing up its feathers and laying them flat again. It's looking at you. It's looking at Falgwin. Its mouth is opening. It's chirping at him, really aggressively and you look at those claws. Like those claws could hurt real bad.
You know what? Hold on a second. I would like to use my tattoo. And I'm gonna whisper Godfrey.
Okay.
And be like, hey, so if I happen to have a animal companion, Does it need to be tattooed to get in and out of the barrier?
That is a very good question.
That is a good question, actually.
He responds with, like a pet wolf or something.
I
I want to see his face so bad.
know more like a giant 7-foot tall chicken that eats meat and drinks wine.
How much have you been drinking since you've been back?
Ironically, I haven't touched the stuff. Perhaps if you have a moment, you can step outside and take a look.
A couple minutes goes by. Godfrey comes out the main doors. How is there a giant chicken in here? Why is there a giant... Are we eating it? Are you eating this thing?
So Godfrey, this is Philip. Philip, this is Godfrey. Philip, don't eat Godfrey.
It's funny because it was just about like you could almost anticipate and hear it in your head, and it's very much disappointment. You are able to start reading chicken body language.
The chicken that was like at me, I do take a couple steps back, and I feel like Hornguard goes from over my shoulder, kind of like to my side a little bit, just because the chicken starts getting a little aggressive.
Chickeny?
I was trying to think of a better word than chickeny.
So anyway, I'm going to recount that whole story that I just told Trix about how I got to Barovia and Philip and Esmeralda just gave him back to me and I let him out and he turned into a giant chicken. Also found him, fed him like 5 pounds of wolf meat and he drank a whole pony keg of raven piss.
He heads over to Esmeralda's wagon and bangs on that door. And the door opens, and he goes, "Do you care to explain that?" And she bends down, looks over, and she starts laughing. Like, from the belly, deep, loud laughs. She, sits down on the steps, tears coming out of her eyes as she goes, "You opened the cage? Oh, how do you like your dire chicken, Valgwyn? You know how rare those things are? It's closely related to basilisks, actually. Tell me, did you actually bond with it?"
I think so, considering I can hear it talk to me.
Well, this'll be interesting since you're dead. You don't feel yourself weakening by any chance, do you?
I don't think so. Speaking of which, my kin kept saying I was alive.
I mean, in comparison to them, aren't you?
Well, fair enough. But no, I don't feel any weaker. Actually, I might feel a bit better.
I'll have to take note of that. Dead people can bond to the dire chickens without dying.
So if he
Because you're
wasn't
already
already
dead? Normally,
would he killed him?
normally, yes, essence and transference of creating the bond that makes the dire chicken actually become the dire parts. Usually kills people, so this was interesting to see. I didn't think you'd die. I mean, we're in Argenvostholt. Besides, I did say don't open the cage, but maybe you didn't hear me.
Legitimately, I don't remember that.
Legitimately, she whispered it just to be able to say that she said it. So let me get this right. You knew that this thing was going to become that thing, and you just let this happen to Valgwyn. Are you sure you're not actually working for Strahd? Because I will kill you right now. And Esmeralda stops laughing and she goes, "Oh, get off it, Godfrey. Have a sense of humor. He's dead already. Worst case scenario, the transference and bondage thing didn't happen. Maybe you need something stuck up your ass. Jesus." He just kind of like rubs his temples and goes, "I need people to win a war. I need people to win a war. Don't kill her just yet."
On the plus side, she did bring all these ingredients to make alcohol. And the kinsmen seem like they're going to be highly motivated to work on our project that we talked about with something to drink.
Because the wine wasn't enough.
Well, they said it tastes like raven piss.
You know, considering ravens are birds and they don't pee, how do they know what raven defecation system tastes like?
I'd rather not ask. I'm just taking their word for it.
That's okay. So the wagon is how I understand. Because the wagon is branded. That got past the barrier. What was in the wagon counts as getting past. I don't know if your chicken will be able to leave and or come back without a tattoo.
Hey, so, Philip, looks like you're going to have to visit the oogly-eyed one.
What do you mean? What's the oogly-eyed one? What's that do? What's that gonna do? What's gonna happen there? Do I get to eat it? Do I finally get to eat something, kill something, rip it apart, shred it?
So no, none of those things, but we're going to have matching tattoos.
Oh, we're gonna match? That's phenomenal.
I'll look past Philip and look at Godfrey and I'll be like, "Can you have the tattoo guy come down and we'll take care of this right quick."
So he responds with, "Sure, why not? Let's add a giant chicken. Does the chicken thing even know what it's agreeing to when it gets this?" Can you understand me, giant chicken thing? Hello. Like waves his hand, and the chicken thing. Philip looks down and goes, looks at you, looks down at it, looks at you. So am I eating him now? Why is he waving at me? Should I talk to him? Am I supposed to talk to him? I'm supposed to talk to you. Do I talk to it? Am I supposed to talk to you? What am I doing here? What's he doing?
Godfrey's asking you a question.
Yes, I hear him talking. Am I supposed to talk back? What am I doing? What's going on, Falcon?
Can you talk back to him?
I don't know.
Can you try?
I don't think he hears me.
This is so fucking ridiculous. I'm gonna try and do something dumb. I'm going to try and bridge the bestial bond thing that I have with Philip through the tattoo to Godfrey.
Okay.
Oh boy.
This can only go fabulously.
Only, yes.
Cool. Nothing is gonna go wrong here. Give me a
Not at all.
spellcasting ability check. You don't think it works like that.
Well, it was worth a shot. So, as saying to Godfrey, doesn't seem that he can communicate directly with you, but I can hear him, and I guess I could relay everything around. He seems highly motivated to kill something, and he seems to listen to what I have to say, so we can totally point that in the correct direction.
Okay. All right. Well, let's get your Philip tattooed then. And as he says that, you could hear the crackling laughter. I'm tattooing a chicken? I've never tattooed a chicken before. And it turns around the corner and goes, oh, you're so pretty. As,
You know what? Did you ever give us your name?
What's names? Tattoo.
Your name's Tattoo? Like, never mind, I was having a flashback to a guy on an island with a midget butler. Anyway,
Starts he, like sets the back down and starts opening the things and starts attaching all the gizmos and is changing the needle and filling the inks and starts the pumping and the little thing goes okay.
Tattoo. This is
You're
Philip.
dying.
Philip, this is Tattoo.
Oh.
Philip, don't eat tattoo.
Philip, come here, Philip. We gotta get a tattoo, Philip. tattoo.
So Philip, this is probably going to sting a bit, but just remember, we're going to have matching tattoos at the end.
Yes, we're gonna be fabulous. You sure I can't eat them? Why has he got a pointy thing? I don't like pointy things.
I'll position Philip to where he's not looking at tattoo, and I'll get where we're making eye contact, right? And I'll just be like, all right, Philip, you just have to look here at me. There's going to be a slight series of pinches, Just ignore that. Trust me, it's going to be fine.
Tattoo begins tattooing. I need to.
Really tattooing a giant chicken.
Yeah,
Oh,
we're
yeah.
tattooing a
Yeah,
giant
right.
chicken. It's happening. Valgren, roll me a d20, please.
This can only go poorly. Never mind, this can only go fantastically.
Oh no, you broke the DM.
So immediately, as Tattoo puts needle to the bit of flesh that's visible on the leg, just barely touches it, Philip has a knee-jerk reaction and kicks backward, critically.
Oh no.
Oh my god.
Oh.
Hitting Tattoo, and Tattoo goes flying. And that's where we're getting tonight's episode of Curse of Strahd.
This was the best episode of Curse of Strahd I've ever been a part of.
This was amazing.
What do you mean that you've
Oh my
ever been a part
God.
of? Rogier was
bit is the
born,
best.
and you're like, eh. Suddenly
No,
Philip is
listen.
here and I've been a
As-
part of.
What, new thing to pack bond with? Old pack bond means nothing anymore.
Wow.
No, that is a lie.
Rogier is old news.
No, that's my baby.
Oh my gosh.
I got 3 things now. I got Regier, I got my very, very, very large dragonborn son, and now we have this chicken.
Yep. As is right.
Oh
family keeps
my
yelling at me for
gosh.
laughing.